Hello, Salesforce Ohana, Walters954 here. Today I'll be answering questions from you, the Salesforce community. If you want to ask me something, just leave a comment down below. This audio was recorded in a mentoring session without video, so sit back and enjoy the configuration while I answer. If you're interested in getting a mentoring session, check out salesforcementor.com. Alrighty. So I got my first Salesforce job as an internship when I was working when I was going to school. So I went to school for information technology. I applied at a trucking company down here in South Florida named Ryder, and I didn't know, what was going on, anything about Salesforce. I just knew as, I was beginning to graduate that I needed an internship to get experience. So they just hired me. It was originally labeled like data entry, but it was a Salesforce data entry role. And from there, I kind of just started to learn Salesforce admin and then Salesforce development. We hit a certain point to where we're like, hey, we need a trigger to do this. I was like, I know how to do code. I'll try this out. And that's kind of like how I worked my way into development. Learning Salesforce and development. There's a couple different pathways that you can get into development. One that I really like is becoming an admin first, working at some place as a Salesforce admin, and then doing any development tasks that come up around that if you can, or going to the development team if there's a development team there. So that's a really good way to learn administration and then work your way up to a junior or even a regular developer type position. And then I would think for my actual first job, not an internship, I just applied at a bunch of different places. By that time, I had about a year and a half of experience in Salesforce administration and development, so it was easier for me to just transition to a mid-level developer job. But even, it doesn't matter your age range, you can apply for internships, especially around Salesforce. It's not just for college students. LinkedIn is a good place. I've also had really good luck with Indeed looking for internships. And then if there's a company in your area, you can always search their careers page. They may or may, if you know that they have Salesforce, and that's great, you may or may not know if they have Salesforce. But if there's some huge company in your area, then chances are they're using Salesforce. And just reach out to their HR department, see if there's any openings, or if you know that there's somebody with like a Salesforce director or manager title, just reach out to them. It can't hurt to. For the beginning of things, I was like hybrid between admin and development. A good portion of my day was spent, optimizing current processes that we had in place. So that's either looking at process builders or some sort of configuration to understand how it can be done better, or even working on new requirements. And it's really once we hit the block that said, hey, we can't do this anymore in process builder or configuration, we need to go to code. That's where it started to jump into me being a developer. So I wasn't just stuck waiting for development tasks. I was very hands-on and very busy doing administration tasks until we hit that roadblock of we needed to write code. And every once in a while, we'd hit like a major project that would need to be, I would spend weeks on it, just writing code for it. And I did very little administration. And depending on the company where you're at, you may have a lot of development tasks that you need to get done versus companies that have a 50-50 split or, 75-25 split of development versus configuration. So it kind of depends on that specific company's needs and what they do. But at least in my experience, I was sort of 50-50 on development versus configuration and being an admin. And that was always fun to me. I like the admin side of things because you get to work for the most part directly with the users, creating reports and doing all of the admin-y type things that are really powerful inside of Salesforce. And then I also got the experience of, hey, we need to write some code here. We need to do development. So let's go ahead and spend the time to write this really big trigger or optimize this specific process that we have going on. I would say that it's probably being too ambitious. So a lot of developers, especially new developers, they will want to try to prove themselves and take on something that they may not understand 100% and just try to go and do it without asking for help and without trying to reach out to somebody. And I've fallen victim to this, especially when I first started out. When I first started out, there weren't like Discord, or the communities wasn't that big, and Trailhead was like just getting started. So there weren't that many resources that I could use to really help make sure that my code was scalable and built properly. So I've built a lot of things that weren't very good. You know, they were built to work for a very specific scenario, and as soon as you deviated from that scenario a little bit, they started to break. So for me, I would say to humble yourself and understand that there are other people more experienced than you and in different situations than you that can help you out. So that means going to Stack Overflow or the Stack Exchange to ask for help and to get more information that you need. And then the other one is just lying about your abilities in any job situation. You never want to lie in your resume. You never want to say you've done stuff that you've never done before, because it will come to bite you in the butt, either in the interview process or in the when you're actually on the job and you're asked, hey, build this OR component that talks to all of these different things, and it's just dropped on you. Understand that everybody starts at some place, and you'll need to be humble in your process as you learn. It's not going to be an overnight thing where you just become an amazing developer. You will need to work at it over time, and it's definitely a process where you gain more experience. So understand that it's not going to come easy. There will be struggles as you go along, and it's just to make sure that you realize that, you ask for help, and you try to build the best thing that you can build. Don't take shortcuts as you go across. And that's where a group like this can come in handy, because either if you're actually at your job or you all have some sort of project you want to focus on, you can leverage each other's experience and knowledge to build something really cool. Whereas if you're just a solo developer at some company and you're tasked with some really big project and you just go headlong at it without even reading or trying to understand some of the best practices around it, I'm sure you can get it done, but you may build something that you're not proud of at the end of the day. I like the idea of developers knowing more admin than they'll probably need to. So I encourage a lot of the devs that are trying to work for us to learn administration first or in tandem, and then become a developer. But I think it all depends on how you are learning. So if you can become a dev and also start to pick up on the configuration aspect of things, then that works out too. But I think overall it's good to know development and configuration at the same time. Salesforce is just pouring more and more power into configuration, and that's good for developers because you just start to build the hard stuff. You start to build the really complicated stuff and move the rest of the easy stuff into configuration. That's why I think being up to date with what admins are able to do is very important. Thank you all so much for watching. If this video was helpful, make sure to smash that like button. I mean, really smash it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you're interested in a mentoring session just like we had here, be sure to check out salesforcementor.com. There's a mentoring section with awesome mentors, not just myself. As always, remember, I believe in you.